Can you hear me?
I don't know what I was doing. Okay. Great start to the show.
You were very
So
animated
hey,
while you were doing
I
it.
know.
Like this. We can't hear you.
Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose now with the Cryptic Paranormal show.
Ay, ay,
We
ay.
are -1. Heisenberg is having some technical difficulties, so probably not going to see him tonight. He's been trying off and on. And I think he's frustrated, so I don't blame him. I'd rather probably throw my computer out the window by that point.
Right.
But so yeah, we're here. We got some stuff to talk about. We got to start off with kind of some somber news. Those of you who like are in our circle in the paranormal community and the family and friends of Jennifer Bradford, we all know that she passed away this week, which was a huge, horrible surprise. No
Yeah.
idea. Did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Didn't want to see it coming. She's been a really close friend to us. She has been a huge supporter of our show. She's a huge supporter of everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, I met her, geez, years and years ago when I had my first MS convention. She showed up with Marcus, who she was dating at the time, and just instant was in love with her. She's just a
Yeah.
great person, super bubbly, always happy,
Yeah.
funny as heck. I mean, and I've investigated with her. She's very gifted. She has very high sensitivity to things. She's totally legit when it comes to that. So yeah, huge loss. And I'm gonna throw a picture up of her. That was her at
Mm.
MadCon. I think last year when Project
Yeah.
Fear was there. I know, I know we have pictures of her somewhere with us.
Mm-hmm.
I scanned, I stalked, I could not
Probably
find
tons of them,
anything.
honestly.
Yeah, there's tons of them. I mean,
But with
I've
her
known her for
Facebook
so long.
getting hacked all the time,
Yeah, it's just
it all
so
got
if they
deleted.
were there, she probably lost them and she had to start a new page.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a close up of her there.
Also, I
Just a
can't do
beautiful
comments,
soul.
just so you know.
Okay. Well, I'll bring the comments up here now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a huge loss. And then I found out today another friend of mine in the community also met her for the first time at one of my MS Paracons. Her name's Ruth. She passed away today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's been in and out of the hospital fighting an injury, and it turned sepsis, and her body couldn't fight anymore. So she passed away today. And so I want to dedicate the show today to Jen and Ruth. And we love
Beautiful
you.
ladies.
Beautiful women, just super, super, just huge hearted, loving
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
They're going to be missed, but they're going to be here with us in spirit. That's why we're here. We believe in spirits and the afterlife, and they're not really gone. Their physical bodies are
Right.
gone, but they're not really gone in the end. So, but we'll be missing seeing your faces at conventions and ghost hunts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But and to all their families and all their friends and loved ones, condolences to all of you. This is really about your family, the families and the friends now. So, but yeah, so we're gonna carry on in our own true style, like not to just jump into like super fun mood, but I think that's what Jen and Ruth would probably want.
For sure.
They love the show. They always wanted to have fun and just be lighthearted and get weird, which is what we're
Yeah.
gonna do.
Yeah.
As hard it is to get weird without Heisenberg here because he brings the weird
Yeah.
and the science apparently because that's all he talked about at Parapsychon was
I
science.
know. You know, there's a side to him that people don't see.
Yeah,
And he
I
is
think I
a
think
mad
he shows
scientist.
he's a mad scientist. He knows
Mhm.
things. And if he doesn't know things, he makes them up
Yeah,
on
and
a
he
whim
sounds like he
and
knows them, so we
he
believe it.
knows yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually has like everything all the makings of a good politician.
Yeah.
Talking out of his ass and making us all believe it.
And us believing it.
Right. But
Yeah.
let me put the chats up here. I kind of forgot. Hold on one second. Make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it's been a horrible week.
yeah, it's been rough. Yeah. So, oh yeah, and my uncle passed away last week too. But I left that. I don't they don't share that too much because they're just kind of keeping that under wraps. But oh
Yeah.
yeah, miss you, Uncle Frank. Um. So, anyways, back to the day at hand. We just had Parapsychon last weekend.
Freaking amazing.
Just, I mean, if you're like thinking about going to conventions and getting your team out there, or vending at conventions, or even just going and
Mhm.
convention, you've never done it, I highly suggest Parapsychon. Um, we always have a blast, even when we're driving there, and some of us really don't feel like being anywhere but home and bed.
Yeah.
Um, I know it was a rough weekend for UD,
Yeah.
but you showed up and you made it, and
Yeah.
not to make it because this the way they run it is just so spot on. I mean,
Mhm.
I've been to a few events. I mean, not a ton, but enough to know that they run it very just. I don't know.
Which is
It's crazy
crazy.
organized.
It's
Yeah.
crazy to me just because obviously I have, I'm boots on the ground for MadCon and I've helped out with FCI and those are chaotic and crazy and
Hmm.
so hard to manage. But this is like 10 times bigger. You know what I mean? Like it's just a
Yeah.
huge venue and I don't know. I just cannot believe. Aw,
Easton, what's up, buddy?
Easton.
Side note,
Easton was
Parapsychon.
also at
Yeah.
Parapsychon.
Yes, he was.
Um, yeah. Easton, we're not gonna spam the chat, okay?
I will kick you
Also,
out, buddy.
work on your spelling.
That's all right.
His name is spelled right underneath his picture.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Jimmy B was there.
Yep,
It's just so amazing how
it
smoothly
is.
everything runs there. Like
Yeah, it's like,
they have a big
you know,
team of people too, which is
oh my gosh.
obviously
Between Tri
necessary.
C, which is made up of literally a Tri City ghost hunting group,
Yeah.
led by Greg and Kathy Fiketic, who also run the ghost hunts, and all the ghosty stuff at Mansfield. The Mansfield staff themselves, who run the museum and everything else that has to do with it, and the restoration, all that good stuff. There are so many of them, and they are all on site, and they are all just begging to help you. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like they're walking around. I mean, I've never been to a convention where they just walk around and hand people waters. You need a water,
Right.
and like giving me water when I said no. He's like, "Well, just take one. You might need it later." And like you were fighting them off, telling them, I don't need your help. I
Yeah.
mean, I could do it myself. I just need
It
to know
was
where they are."
there was one point where I was eating something and I was like somebody was walking by, one of the volunteers, and I was just like, "Hey, do you guys happen to have a knife and fork at the desk over there?" And he was like, "No. Do you want me to go get you one? I could go downstairs to the cafe." And like downstairs to the cafe sounds like
Yeah,
sure, it's quick. No, it's not.
no,
There's like stairs and elevators
yeah,
and you got to
yeah.
go
You
through different wings
either
and
wait 20 minutes just to get on the elevator, or
yeah,
you hike about a quarter of a mile up and down steep
right.
steps. I mean, it's
But
not easy.
I'm like, "No, it's not a big deal at all." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I will go get it." And I was like, "No, no, no, it's fine." Like I had to fight him. And I thought for sure he was going to just go get it anyways, even though I said
Yeah,
no like 87
yeah,
times because
yeah.
they just are so nice and so helpful and
Hmm.
I don't know how they do it. And I'm not talking shit about other cons obviously
No,
because I am a volunteer at
right,
MadCon.
right.
Those volunteers are terrible. um, but they really just do go above and beyond, and
Yeah.
it's so
Well, I
nice.
mean, like MadCon is like kind of the more like intimate kind of like, it's not small by any means,
Right.
but it's just a different feel. I mean, it's very like everybody's. I mean, even us as vendors, we're off roaming around talking to everybody. It's like a reunion.
Mhm.
It's not like as formal of a
Right.
convention as
Right.
Parapsychon is.
Yeah.
But for them to be that helpful in such a huge space with so many vendors
Right.
and so many special guests, keeping all those working pieces finely oiled and moving the way they need to be.
Mhm.
I mean, my head's
And I
blown.
thought it was cool, I don't know if you caught it, when we were, like, packing up and Greg and Kathy walked by, we said, like, "Oh, great job again, as
Mhm.
always,"
Yeah,
and we mentioned how they just are constantly like, "You need a bottle of water? You guys need anything?"
yeah,
They brought cookies over to all the vendors, they were passing them
right,
out,
right.
and I just said, like, "It's so nice, how
Mhm.
the volunteers treat us," and she said she said everybody deserves equal treatment. Vendors,
Yeah,
special guests,
yeah.
speakers, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Everybody deserves the same treatment. And
And
that's how it
yeah,
is.
yeah, and it's kinda cool too because they do like, even the way they set things up, there's mindfulness to it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of, like, the same kinda genre of vendors, like, around each other that are
Yeah.
kind of, like, selling the same kinda stuff.
Mhm.
They mix it up, so, like, everybody you got a couple of these spread out upstairs and some of these downstairs, and even the celebrities, they kind of
Yeah.
are put a couple celebrities here, go down several tables, and
And
there's
that's great for
celebrities
the
on the other side.
vendors. It's
Yeah,
great for us because that means then everybody's gonna be walking past our table, you
right,
know?
right,
They really take vendors into
right.
account when they're setting
Yeah,
up their event, and it really shows.
yeah,
If
and
you
I
guys
feel
are
like
ever
a lot of
Yeah, if
I
you're
feel
ever
like
on
a
the
lot
fence, do it.
yeah. I feel like a lot of conventions don't do that. They always have, like, the separate celebrity area.
Mhm.
And it's also very nice for us vendors, not just to get the crowd through, but for us to get a chance to actually meet some of the celebrities.
Yeah, that's
Some of
true.
the ones that we follow because they're, like, literally 2
Like,
or 3
Heather
tables down.
freaking Taddy was 2 tables down from us,
Right.
and we just got
And
to
she was,
talk to
like,
her all day.
yelling back and forth, but even
Love
then,
her.
like, as small of a show as we are, I feel like we have some amazing friends
For
that are
sure.
quote unquote celebrities. I don't feel like they're
Yeah,
celebrities. I feel like they're just friends. But
because they don't
I
act
mean,
like it, yeah.
Dustin Perry, after a horrible transportation
Again.
debacle, as every time he even thinks about getting on an airplane,
Yeah, don't ever travel with Dustin.
he was there. He was like super pumped to be there. You could tell that he wanted to be there. He came up to us, came to our table before
Yeah,
everything started, gave us both a hug, talked to us for a minute. Tim Shaw,
yeah,
my brother, my lunker bro, he's amazing. He came to us a couple times.
yeah.
He pumps
Singing,
everybody up
of
too. Yeah,
course.
singing, posing, flexing, all of it. I mean, just so you know, like that intermingling and hanging out with the people that are there as special guests.
Yeah,
It's just a cool feeling. And you know what? People probably look at the tick or the vendor price or whatever and are like, "Ugh, that's a little steep," but it's worth it. I
it's
mean, it's
totally worth
completely
it.
worth it.
Totally worth
You
it.
pay more than that at other big conventions, and you get not even a quarter of what they do for you as far as organization, staffing, just anything like that. It's just
Cookies, like Jason said in the
cookies,
comments,
yes,
free water
free
and cookies
cookies and
brought to
water.
your vendor
I mean,
tables,
seriously,
jackpot.
right?
Worth it.
Yep. Yes, Jason, you're correct. Tim Shaw is the best. We love him.
Yeah, he's
But
fun.
yeah, just a great event, and even the vendor hotel. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a La Quinta, but and I honestly, it's I mean, everybody know Mansfield could be rough. It's rough in spots.
Yeah,
It's not
the
but it's just like
neighborhood,
any
not the
city.
prison.
Yeah,
Go
this is like
figure. Once you
yeah,
get outside of the
right.
prison, that's when things get
Yeah,
rough.
yeah. I mean, the hotel was like literally one of those typical exit areas where they had country barrel and all that kind of stuff all over the place. Like, the
Yeah,
restaurants and the hotel is just right off of 71. So the area was a very travel type of area. I drove up to the La Quinta and I'm looking at the paint job on the outside and it's okay. Okay, this could be iffy. And I told Greg and Kathy this.
yeah,
I'm like, this could be iffy. I don't know, but it's too late. I'm going to stay with no matter what. You walk inside, it's just like any normal modern hotel. The inside has been redone. They're actually redoing the second floor. Everything is the way it should be. The rooms were nice. I have no complaints about the rooms. The
yeah.
staff was amazing. Like I've never seen a more bubbly, more happy front desk person in my life. Like she jumps up from her seat. She's like, "Hello, welcome," and she's like, "Well, good news. I got your key right here for you." And it's just
Oh
like,
my goodness.
holy cow! Like at that point, it was already the end of the first day, and I'm like, okay, just give me my key.
Yeah,
But
right. I just want to go to bed.
right. When I woke up, but like the beds were super. I've never slept. It's been a long time since I've been in a hotel room where I fell asleep at 9 p.m. and I woke up
Right.
at 8 o'clock the next morning. Just
I
super
can't even think of the
comfortable. But,
last time I slept that long.
you know, besides the way some people were feeling that weekend, it was a pretty spectacular event
Yeah.
and I highly suggest it. Forget that other event out in Pennsylvania
I
that goes
know,
on with all
listen. They need
those
to
other
stop doing
people.
that. They need to stop doing that.
Right.
Because this year also MadCon is on the same day as UFOCon in Michigan. Not a fan. They need to like coordinate.
It's separate weekends,
It
but
should be
it's like
like,
the weekend.
oh,
It
is
should be
it?
like
Okay.
yeah.
There should be like
MadCon is
a pick at the beginning of the year, like a NFL draft,
yeah.
right? And
Right.
everybody gets to pick a date and we go in order.
Right. So I feel like just kind of since we mentioned MadCon, we're talking, and I think we're going to have a presence there this year, but I don't think we're going to be doing the vendor table thing
Mhm.
as far as what we're talking about. So, we're going to show up with our family. Obviously you're going to be working. I
Yeah.
mean, as a volunteer, you're going to be,
Well,
but
that's what's
I'm going to
hard.
be there. I'm thinking about bringing my family.
Right.
Not sure what Heisenberg's plans are. He'll let us know when he shows up.
But he always brings Kate and Lincoln,
Yeah,
so,
they're
like,
always there anyways. So,
it's just like, we love having a vendor table, we do, and
right,
it's, like, our biggest event. Um,
right,
but it's also, like, it is, like, our family reunion, and
right.
we are stuck at our table,
Yeah,
and
right,
especially being a volunteer, like, I feel terrible being
right.
stuck at the table, like,
Yeah,
watching all the rest of the mad crew, like, scrambling, trying to get things
right.
done, and, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I'm at my table." So I would like to be able to
And
focus.
then you're scrambling and like, "Oh, I left those poor guys alone at their table." Because usually by that point, Lincoln is there,
Yeah,
and he
right,
and Heisenberg's running around with
right.
Lincoln, and
Yeah,
so
it's just we
then it's
can't
me.
listen, the
But no,
ADHD is a superpower, but I can't physically be in 2 different places at
I
once,
know, and
so
I don't expect you to be, and just because, like, I'm not choosing one convention over the other,
right,
but when I got the invite to UFO contact from Deb, I couldn't say no because
right.
everybody knows this is kind of like my new
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and that's going to be what the weekly what the F is going to be about this week. But
yeah,
it's my new thing. I need to do this for myself as
yeah,
well. I mean, I
yeah.
know you want to be there.
I do
I know,
so bad.
yeah, but it's like the
Like,
weekend right after, and I'm going to be super busy because I'm going to be covering it, like doing the social media,
Mhm,
interviewing people. So it's not, I doubt I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have a table, but I'm just going to be having all my. I'm going to try to sell some stuff, but I'm not going to be able to sit there and like physically watch it the whole time.
right.
Um, but this is the year of goose. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to sound like an asshole to
No.
people, but this is like, I have to spread my wings because
Yeah,
I told everybody at the beginning of the year, I'm kind of like, I'm done with the wheelhouse. Like, I need to bust
mhm,
loose. There's a lot of
mhm.
other things that I've been interested in my whole life, and I kind of quartered myself. And I'm fine. I love ghost hunting, and I'm going to continue to do it. I mean, we
Yeah,
got a ghost hunt next month, but this is
I
a lot to me. It's something that I've been wanting to go to since I met Deb and RJ.
yeah.
And all those people that are involved with that at other conventions. I need to do it for myself, and they invited me to come out and do this, so I have to.
I'm
But
really hoping that, like, as the show, we get a lot of opportunities to do other things, and I think it's
right.
super funny that we both, like, wanted to start doing other things, and we would kinda,
Hmm.
like, mention it, like, just, throwing it out there just
Yeah,
to see what the
yeah,
other person thought, and then, like, finally, I don't even remember which one of us it was, but, like, kinda scared to mention it, like, "I really wanna, like, do other things, not just ghosts," and then the other one's like,
yeah,
"Yes, me too, me
yeah,
too." Like,
yeah. I
so
mean, I
we're
think it
we're
was me,
down.
and you are like totally agreeing, but
Yeah,
it doesn't matter because we both are on the
yeah,
same plane.
yeah,
Heisenberg will do what he pleases. He can be
and
us with his ghost
and
hunting, and he'll be there. But
he seems excited about it too.
yeah, I
Like,
think I'm actually kind of like thrilled that his last two what the F moments were
yeah,
both about cryptids, which he always
right.
seems to be like standoffish about.
Yeah, and I
So that
just
was
feel
super
like
cool.
we're we're calling ourselves the Cryptic Paranormal Show, and
Right.
our logo is Bigfoot, like,
Hmm.
I don't know, we shouldn't be just focusing on ghosts all the time, like,
Right.
let's do some other
Yeah,
cool
and
shit.
I mean we could talk about ghosts all day, every day, but
Right,
I mean there's
obviously.
so much other weird and paranormal stuff
Yeah,
out there. It's not just about
and
ghosts.
I feel like we've met so many cool people who are into all that stuff and, like, do all
Right.
that stuff, and, like,
Yeah.
now we have this opportunity,
Hmm.
where we could get invited on a Bigfoot hunt or a ghost or
Right.
like one of the things where they call the aliens that I
Yeah.
always
The
forget the name
C5.
of.
Yep. They're going to be
Yeah.
doing that at UFO Contact, and
Ugh,
I'm really kind of upset that you're not going to be there.
I might have
I
to
mean, I know
go,
you.
like, I don't
I
wanna
mean,
drive 6
it's
hours there and then 6 hours back that night.
it is a 3-day event. It's
Ugh,
Friday
wild.
night, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah,
Wild. Holly, don't even say it out loud unless you're serious.
I know she said the one that they were planning originally ended up falling through the cracks, which is no fault of their own. It ended up being some kind of crazy money, and it was just like wasn't what they thought it was going to be.
Listen, I'm
Which, like I
100%
said,
down.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, we could all just say, hey, we're gonna. I know Brent Fair was talking about getting a bunch of people to go to Salt Fork some weekend, of
Yep.
course, in September.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
seriously? Why is everybody doing everything in
Damn
September?
it. And both of my kids, the younger kids, are September birthdays.
Yeah. So yeah, my kid is too. So September 9th, birthday, and then MadCon, and then the next week is Michigan. There's no way I could do a vending event. I mean, I had to pick one or the other, and
Yes. Holly
but we're
said
still
she's
going to be
doing
there.
it.
Yeah, we don't even have to go. I mean, we can meet some way. There's literally sightings everywhere. I
Yeah,
did a
that
3 mile.
campground,
Yeah,
West Branch.
yes, West Branch, big time.
Let's
I
go
did.
book some campsites. I
Yeah,
got tents and shit. Let's go.
right. ISS Salt Fork. I can't go to ISS. It's just I can't get myself
ISS
to go
is,
to Indiana. I don't care. We'll figure it out, but we got to do it this year at least one time. One
yeah,
time.
I agree.
But like for you and like for our people that are like towards Columbus, I think West Branch would be good just because
Yeah,
it's kind of in between everybody. I mean, it's a
because
lot
that's
closer for
Ravenna,
me, but
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right by the Ravenna Arsenal
for
and
sure.
another.
Let's do it.
So like, and it's like $20 for a campsite or something. It's like it's
Done.
not bad, and we can all just sit at the same campsite and
Yeah.
build a fire. I'm telling you, people, you don't have to like go into the deep woods 5 miles on a hike. If Bigfoot wants to make himself known, he'll make himself known. And it's going to be during the day. We don't need to be out there hiking around at night. I mean, if we start hearing some noise, we're going to go investigate it. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Dude, I'm
anyways, I'm
down.
like getting all over the place. So yeah, September is going to be busy. But yeah, anyways, Parapsychon, beautiful event.
Yeah.
Highly suggest.
Holly was there.
I Holly was there. A lot of people that we love
Yeah.
and know were there. Um, what else? Oh yeah, since we're on the idea of events, let me see here. There's an event coming up next Friday night that super excited about. It's the Haunted Theater Tour presented by the Kent Ghost Walks, which is a big, huge ghost walk that they do every year around the Kent area, where people like set up, like you do the lantern thing, and you follow a tour guide around, and there's different stops, and at every stop, there's somebody telling the story of why this place was haunted and like the mythos behind it and all that kind of stuff. Super cool event. But every once in a while, she throws out other events. So this one is just at the theater itself. There's no like it's not a walk, but it's a chance for people to come hear experiences by the people those people that have been there and have either ghost hunted or worked there and have had experiences and have witnessed activity. And then there's going to be like a walkthrough, and I'm going to be Heisenberg and I will be there with some ghost equipment, kind of showing people how to use it. But mostly it's just a kind of a hang, like get to hear the stories and get to know the theater more intimately. So we're super excited about that. Again, it's next Friday night. Doors open at 7. Um, be there at 7:15 to start checking in. You can get your tickets at kentstage.org. So yeah, super excited, and I'll be promoting it like crazy all week. But yeah,
And you have a
there's
link
some,
on the show page too
yeah. I've
for
been
people to get
posting a lot
tickets.
about it, and I even did a live TikTok from my 3 mile hike at Towner's Woods Monday.
Really?
Um, yeah,
I missed it.
and I was talking about that and just kind of showing people some of the cool stuff in the woods, but my phone ended up dying really quick. So yeah, I got probably about an hour's worth of footage. This is pretty fun.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, Kent Stage Haunted Theater Tour, highly suggest. So those two things that I highly suggest. So that's pretty damn good to start with.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
you guys know, I'll be completely honest if I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that other event in Philadelphia that's the same day as Parapsychon.
Stupid.
I'm sure it's a great event.
I know, and I like look
Honestly,
at people's pictures from it, and I'm like,
yeah.
whatever.
The only pictures that were showing up in my feed were everybody posing with getting their pictures with Josh Gates.
Oh,
That's the
damn it.
only thing. The only reason I wanted to be there.
I mean, there were a
But
lot of cool, like a lot of our friends and stuff were there too, but
yeah, it was a weird divide, and I was like kind of missing some of the people that I would normally see at
I
Parasicon. Like,
know.
why are you guys there and not like hanging out with us? I don't
Right.
know you like us anymore.
That's why I was like, stupid. I don't know why you're going there.
Right.
But then
But
again,
no,
Josh Gates is there, and had I known that, I might not have gone to
it
Parasite.
was so funny too because like some people that were like some of my friends that were like not wanting to stand in the line were like doing like far away shots, just like
Yes.
angling it perfect so that like he was behind them. Like what I think it was Valerie. She got her picture with him,
Yeah.
but the other took a picture like from behind his tent. So like she was like
Oh
here
my
and you
god.
could see like
Stop it.
his backside in the picture. It was funny. Good times. But
That's
let
funny.
me go back. I didn't realize I switched from the chat. So if you said something and I missed it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Parasicon was amazing. Definitely. Coolest people were, yes, agreed. And then our buddy Chester, my buddy band dad, he said he just came back from Salt Fork this weekend. Salt Fork this weekend, not Salt Pork. Did not hear much. They did
Salt
have had their Squatch weekend on Mother's Day. Yeah, they always have a big Bigfoot convention there every year. That's really popular and draws a big crowd. Actually, one of the women that was at Parapsychon over the weekend, we were talking to her about it and getting into the discussion about how when you like venture off from one genre in the paranormal research field, how everything it
Yeah.
gets interconnected anyways. So
Yeah.
cool stuff.
That
Cool
lady was
stuff.
fun to talk to.
She was. I could have sat there and talked to her for a
I know
while.
she was like, "All right, I gotta go," and we're like, "No,
No,
stay.
come back.
Yeah, stay."
But yeah, really cool stuff. It was a good weekend. Yeah, glad we did it, regardless of other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it was, I don't know, Easton, are you still watching? Probably not, because my kids don't think I'm that
Easton was
cool.
cracking me up. He was one of those in one of those alien hijacking suits where,
Yeah,
well, yeah, you guys have seen him. You know what I'm talking about. There's pictures I'm sure that Denise has shared on Facebook about that
I
because
did.
there was
Yeah,
another guy there too that was walking around all weekend
that
and like
was so funny. And
had the
people thought
full
they were
hat.
related. Somebody told him,
Oh,
"I saw
really?
your kid walking around," and he's like, "What?" He's like, "That's not my kid." I don't know if you'll
I
be able
thought
to see
there's.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see it. Hold on, let me see
Yeah,
if I could zoom in. Boom, there it is.
look at him.
Yeah, that was
How
so because he
funny.
was that dude was cracking me up because every time he walked around, he was like drinking a drink and like eating food.
Right? He walked by with a bucket of fries at one
Oh
point,
my
and I was like,
god, it was
"What?
so
Here,
funny.
show this one."
Oh, hold on, let me get it. That was awesome, dude.
Oh,
I
so
love it.
funny.
Easton was cracking me up. He's a good kid.
But it was such a good, like,
Thanks
mom
for having
moment.
us, Gary.
It was such a good mom moment for me, and I know
Yeah.
this is, like, super stupid to a lot of people, but, like, at 11 years old, there's not a chance in hell that I would have, 1, been walking around this building by myself,
Hmm.
2, wearing that costume.
I
Like,
know, right?
people weren't dressing up. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, there was, like,
no.
what, 6 total people
Yeah,
dressed
and
up?
it's the staff that does it every year. Yeah.
Right, and it's, like, thousands of adults that he doesn't know, and he just
Yeah.
was totally confident and just
Hmm.
walked around
And
rocking
people
the
loved it.
alien abduction costume,
Yeah.
and it just made me so happy that, like,
Yeah.
he's
People are
different.
loving it.
He's different
Yeah.
of a
People.
child than I was, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Um, but it was
Yeah.
just
People
so
are loving
cool,
it.
and your kids don't ever think you're cool, so it was
No.
awesome to have him, like, excited to go.
Yep.
He
I
had a
know
good
my
time.
my my youngest was at home cursing me the whole time
Yeah.
because she wasn't there. But
Yeah, that's the other hard part about the vendor thing, like,
mhm.
both my kids wanted to go, and your
Yeah.
kids wanted to go. You know what I mean? Like, we only
Yeah.
have technically 2 chairs. We're not even supposed to
Right.
have 3 of us.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But
And yeah. But I don't know. I just know. Well, I'm. That's not really a story for everybody to hear. So, you guys, you know what I'm talking about. We talked
yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Wait, he's investigating with who? I missed the first part.
Jeff Walker, the other guy
Oh,
who was walking around in that costume.
yeah. So
That'd be
funny.
funny. He needs to wear that costume while you guys are investigating.
Ugh. It was just so
So,
funny.
yeah, it was a great show or a great event. So it
Yeah.
was good time. All right. So, are you ready for the weekly What the F?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And since you can hear it, I'll play it.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm doing things without a mouse, so I apologize,
Welcome
everybody.
to our first show, everybody.
Right? I don't have the right stuff. And it's not playing. God damn it.
Okay. I can't help you. Oh, you're going to the Rhodes Hotel. Cool.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong with it. Hold on. Now I can't hear it. There we go. What the fuck? It's not as funny or enjoyable when it doesn't work the first time I hit.
It's
I got
like
to get my
3 minutes
mouse
of
fixed.
anticipation.
I'm like sitting here like tapping my phone and then I realize, or
Right.
tapping my whatever. Anyways, this week's weekly What the F, kind of building on my story from the last time it was my turn, the Ohio UFO chase that happened in Portage County.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
There's a lot of like towards the end of that story, there was mention of Project Blue Book and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So I kind of did a little bit of a Google kind of general deep dive into Wright-Patterson Air Force Base because I've heard the Air Force Base brought up in the community quite a bit. Turns out a lot of UFOologists consider it the real Area 51. So this all started, and let me bring up my information. So if I'm not paying attention to the chat, I apologize. But I have all my notes written in front of me, so I got to go through them. So this all happened like right directly after the Roswell incident. And if you're watching the show and you don't know what the Roswell incident is, UFO crashed, farmer found stuff, Air Force came in and took it all. One Air Force guy said, yes, it was definitely UFO. We didn't know what it was. The Department of Defense shut him down real quick, and they started all these projects, basically denouncing everything that he said in all the witness accounts and collecting all the evidence. And guess what? All that evidence ends in Dayton, Ohio, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base,
Nice.
according to the true and blue UFOologists and the historians. So Wright-Patterson is an Air Force base in Dayton, Ohio. It's been there since the early 40s. Like I said, this all started going down pretty much right after the Roswell Air Force Base. And you guys a lot of you probably have heard mention, at least if you're into the whole UFO thing, about Project Blue Book, but it doesn't start there. So right after the Roswell crash, they apparently took all that stuff back. Then they started kind of diving in the DoD once the Air Force involved. They started doing all the investigations and trying to disprove everything. But there were several projects that were involved with this before you even got to Project Blue Book. The first one was started in 1948, directly after the incident. It's called Project Sign. The purpose was the first official U.S. Air Force investigation into UFOs. And they actually formed a group that was based out of Wright-Patterson called ATIC, which is the Air Technical Intelligence Center. And those of us who've listened to all the congressional hearings have heard so many abbreviations and different names,
Right.
so many different kinds of groups, and it's just you can't keep track of it. But the one out of there was originally called ATIC. So basically, their findings with Project Sign was they opened the extraterrestrial hypothesis, which is a now famous estimate of the situation. Reportedly concluded UFOs were interplanetary. I can never say that word right. So this was rejected, of course, by the higher ups.
Duh.
The outcome of Project Sign was to shut down and replace with a more skeptical program, of course. And this is where the whole UFO Roswell incident turns into a downed military weather balloon or science balloon. So 1948 project, or I'm sorry, 1949 to 1951 was the Project Grudge, which I've never heard of this one before. And it was designed to downplay and debunk UFO sightings, which sounds more familiar.
Right.
No longer they're saying that we don't understand this. It's definitely something from, outer space or whatever. Now they're just, this is the way they come back and like try to calm the crowds, start
Right.
hiding the technology, all that stuff. And it was a much more dismissive than Project Sign. UFOs were attributed to misidentifications, hoaxes, and psychological phenomenon. Wright-Patterson's role in this was to continue the Operational Center for Data Collection and Analysis. Now we get to the one that everybody's heard of, or at least those that are in the UFO community have heard of, Project Blue Book.
Mhm.
This was 1952 to 1969. That 3 years earlier is when the Ohio incident happened that we covered a couple weeks ago. This is by far the most famous UFO project, fully operated out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. It was directed by Captain Edward Ruppelt early on, who coined the term UFO. So that's where UFO comes from.
Randy's saying hi. Sorry.
Hey, Randy, how you doing, buddy? I can't see anything. I'm
He
not
can't see
actually
the comments right now, and I
Right.
can't either.
Cool. That's perfect. Just read them out. So yeah, UFO, that's where we get the term. And also this is kind of like the gentleman, Dr. John Allen Hynek. He is known mostly for his work with Project Blue Book. Who is he? He's an astrophysicist that was an astronomy professor at Ohio State.
Okay.
When all this started, when ATIC was formed, they brought him in to basically start taking documentations. He would go to all these reports around the United States, gather information, try to debunk what he could. Later on, towards the end, after Project Blue Book was over and he was no longer involved with the government, he started admitting to everybody that a lot of the things he debunked were basically ordered. He was ordered to debunk them
Duh.
by the government. Duh.
And all of us
And
with our
then
conspiracy theory hats on are like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And he admitted to himself while he was investigating a lot of these claims and activity, he claimed to have witnessed he was an experiencer himself. So he spent a lot, and he started kind of almost like MUFON, where he started recording data and collecting stories and putting it out there that this stuff could actually be quite real. So Project Blue Book, like I said, they investigated over 12,600 reports. Only 701 of those cases remain unexplained. So, that's a pretty good percentage for them, right?
Right.
Some of the famous cases for them were the Lubbock's Lights, and the Levelland incident, which is more stuff that I would have to get into. That's a whole separate show by themselves.
Yeah.
The Washington D.C. UFO flap, which were UFOs that were flying low over the United States Capitol. They launched fighters. I mean, the Air Force was involved. Weird stuff going on. Sent Washington, D.C. into a frenzy. And of course, Project Blue Book steps in, and they said it was the public perception of the UFOs, and it became the basis for a lot of the requests and conspiracy theories later on. So they were shut it down, regardless of the fact that the Department of Defense, the Air Force, launched
Right.
Fighters to
Right.
go take these things down, and they were ordered to shoot. I mean, it's crazy.
It's so
And this is
annoying.
all centered out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they do have what they call the Hangar 18 Legend. This is a hangar that's on the base. the claims suggest that alien technology recovered from crashes was stored there. Um, it was a top secret storage area within the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. They had things like crashed alien craft. They had non-human biological remains. All these things that were mentioned in the congressional hearings.
Right.
Never officially confirmed, but referenced frequently in pop culture and UFO research. Congressional and public interest, what I just said. So there's documentaries, there's specific books about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base,
So annoying.
calling it Area 51, the real Area 51 or the second Area 51.
Mhm.
And now, of course, there's all the fun kind of what do you want the corny stuff. They have festivals of UFO festivals and everything there now.
Do they have them at Right
They're
Pat?
they have them like at the museum.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
how fun.
the Air Force Base Museum. It includes aircraft from the Project Blue Book era, and then
You know what that
sometimes it hosts the actual UFO history, but they don't show any of the supposed artifacts from Hangar
you know what that
8,
means?
18.
That means that everything's been moved.
Oh, sure.
Like, once it's,
Maybe
like,
that's where.
known, they have to move it somewhere else, and then, like,
Right.
everybody keeps their attention on Area 51, so they're just like, yeah, it's probably, like, some people who just do accounting for the government or something, and they just, like, make it look super secretive and whatever so that people will stay focused on that. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
everything's at Right Pat, and now that it's all out that everything's at Right Pat, they probably moved it somewhere else, so now they're like, "Yeah, let's do alien conventions here."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, let Dayton make some money off of it, I guess,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly. It's
because
so
the
annoying.
government definitely needs more money.
The government is like being in a relationship with a freaking narcissist. Like, it's
Right.
just constant gaslighting. Like, people will have videos of a craft like flying through
Mhm.
the air, going up,
Yeah.
moving over, like going in like crazy directions, and they're like, that was a weather balloon. And we're like,
Yeah.
a fucking a
Yeah.
weather balloon that goes
Right.
like this across the sky at
Right.
one speed, like,
Hmm.
doesn't light up, like,
Right.
I don't know. And then
And
it's just
yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, since you're mentioning all the government shutdowns and the debunking and all that, during that big whole drone, uh, what I call the drone era,
yeah.
when everybody was seeing the drones all over the world and calling them and describing them as alien tech. I mean, I don't think that's what it was in the end. They were definitely unexplainable for the most part.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the government comes out. Oh yeah, that was us.
Yeah.
Big deal. But a lot of that stuff, they did say that like engineers, there's engineering going on at Wright Patterson Air Force Base with drone technology that could transport men that are big as jeeps or whatever. So that stuff exists. Like, we're working on that. But here's the thing: during that crazy drone period where we were seeing all that, Wright Patterson Air Force Base shut down for
Right?
4 hours because they
Because
didn't
of
know
the
what it was.
drones. Yeah.
Right. They didn't know what it was. And they're apparently working on it there.
Yeah. They're
And
working on it,
yeah,
everybody. It's fine. They're
right.
working on it.
Right.
It's just so annoying. Like, the newest
Timothy
one is,
Manville says swamp gas.
the new yeah. The newest one is there's people who are getting videos of stars. Like, it looks like the
Mhm.
stars are just
Yeah.
moving like this around the
Mhm.
sky. And it's like
Yeah.
Texas, Arizona, Wisconsin, like all over the
Mhm.
place. People are recording these videos. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what the government tells us those are next.
See, right. And here's the thing: we all know that the government has, and especially the Department of Defense and the military, they all have
Sure.
these crazy projects going on
Sure.
with, I think, reversed alien technology.
100%.
Because the jumps that we've made in technology advancement, there's no way. I'm
I say it all
sorry.
the time. No, we went from a Nokia 5160
Yes.
to an iPhone. That doesn't
Mhm.
happen unless you're, like,
I remember.
getting
Yeah,
some.
I remember being the Trekkie nerd watching Star Trek Next Generation. They had the little pads, the little computer pads. I'm like, that would be so cool. Here we are, not
Here you
even
are.
10 later, 20 years later, we got them. And they're this small.
Yeah.
Theirs were like this. They were
Yeah.
like iPads, you know.
Yeah.
And like a couple years later after that, iPads actually came out. So I mean,
Yeah.
anyways, I don't know.
It's just wild. Like I'm so sick of like and I will be honest, I don't think that our government should tell us everything. I
No,
don't.
and we say that all the time on the show. We don't
It's
need to know everything.
no, and we shouldn't. And it is a national security thing. They shouldn't tell us,
Mhm.
"Hey, we're working on this technology that will make our planes invisible to the enemy." Why would they
Right.
tell us that? Because if they're telling us that, they're telling the world that. And you're obviously keeping that a secret for a reason.
Mhm.
But also like just the gaslighting and no, that's not what you saw. What?
Yeah.
We're not stupid, okay?
Yeah. I would rather them play stupid and just say we don't
Exactly.
know what that is. We're
Just say,
looking into it.
"Wow." Just like
Yeah.
when somebody
Yeah.
shows us a
Like
video of
like
an
don't
orb
make the
and we
people
go,
who yeah,
"Wow, that's
don't make
cool."
yeah, don't make
Just
the
say
people
that.
who are like throwing the evidence out on social media or whatever they think is evidence. Don't make them feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
I mean, don't that's there's no need for that and no matter what you do, but
right.
just say we don't know what it is, we're looking into it, we're
Yeah,
researching it, and we may or may not be able to tell you what it is.
yeah. With
It
how
may be
quickly people forget about things, like,
mhm,
look at how things are in the news or, like, in social media, they're trending for, like,
yeah,
2 days, and then that's it.
mhm,
Like,
yeah,
if we find something, just say, "Oh, wow, we're gonna look into that." We'll forget about it in 2 days. We're not gonna be like, in 4 days, "Hey, did you look into
right,
that?" Like,
right, yeah.
people forget about shit. Just say, "I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know."
we're a generation of ADHDers, so I mean,
Right.
it's squirrel.
There's there will be a new crisis in 2 days, and we'll
Oh
forget
sure,
about it. Just
yeah,
but yeah, the
it'll be
constant, like, lying about stuff just drives me
yeah.
nuts.
I'd rather like yeah, I just rather them say they don't know. Just be
Yeah,
human. We don't know what it is.
right.
I mean, in a way, because if they're like, oh, we have no idea what this is, then you're like leading people on to thinking, yeah, it's definitely the end of the world. We're going to be attacked, all this shit. But you just got to
Yeah,
be, we're researching it. We're looking into it.
and,
That's all
like,
I need to know.
freaking
Don't make
make up
people
a
look
thing.
stupid.
Just say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we have a task force that's working on this. If you have any
Because they do.
information, send it to this email
Yeah.
address." And then just don't ever fucking check the email. I don't care. Just
Right.
don't say that it's swamp gas or
hmm
whatever. Like, come on.
Well, I'm sure like even groups like MUFON probably do that. They just are so overwhelmed with
Right.
alien stories, especially around periods like where the drones were showing up, where they're just like,
Yeah.
you know, every Tom, Dick, and Harry was looking up in the sky and seeing a drone that they couldn't
Yeah.
explain.
But honestly, they're probably there all the time, but
hmm
people weren't focused on it because
Right,
it wasn't the drone era and it
right,
wasn't trending to look up at the sky.
right. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Like I've always heard little things and snippets. Like I knew Project Blue Book was run out of there, so there was definitely. But Hangar 18 holding
Mhm. That's really
biologics
cool.
and technology.
That's really cool.
Um, and I know that they do a lot of engineering for high techs. You know, fighter like Air
Everything,
Force
yeah,
crafts, pretty much everything.
everything.
But even with that, like, where are you guys getting the idea? Where are
Mhm.
you like? I can see like you can't figure out the exact technology, but you can figure it out enough by looking at it that you can get a pretty close knockoff of it and have almost the same capabilities as an actual UFO.
Right,
You know, but we can't match the speed or the ability to climb and drop in
right,
altitude. We can't go from air to sea. We can't fly thousands of feet in the air and then drop hundreds of feet below the water
right.
in mere seconds. We can't do that. Will we ever see that? I don't know. I think the closest we'll get is probably like some kind of intersolar travel, like just fast enough to be able to do that. I don't know we're going to be interdimensional in our lifetime or time traveling.
Yeah. I don't think so.
And if we are, it's because our galactic family are letting us know how it's done.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I've been, like probably for the past year, my brain is, like, thinking that things are gonna super change very soon,
Mhm.
and, like, in that sort of way,
Yeah.
like, to the point where, like, I will set a goal for myself, and I'll be like, "Oh, I hope I can get this done before then." Like, what I don't even know
Yeah.
what it is. I don't even
Mhm.
know, but
Yeah. So
I'm
it's like it's almost like, okay, do I continue to collect food
right.
and wait for the Armageddon or the end times and like some kind of like either power outage that affects the entire world and we go back to primitive times, or do I pack my suitcase and be ready to just fly at a moment's notice?
Right. I'm
Because
just waiting for
honestly,
I think I'm waiting for the aliens to come here and be like, "Hey, this was just a test run. You guys failed
yeah,
miserably. You're destroying the
we'll be
planet
back.
that we gave you."
Yeah,
But just so you know, there's, like, free energy everywhere. You can just have it.
yeah,
Like, don't
yeah,
worry about going to work because
right.
you don't have to do that
And
anymore.
that's the that's
Okay.
probably the one thing like that I still kind of jive with Stephen Greer about is like yeah, we know that there's free energy.
Yeah.
That's not pollution, like doesn't cause pollution or could kill everybody, every living thing on the planet. It's out
Right.
there. I mean, it's out there. We just and I think we already know somewhat how to harness it. We're getting there.
I think
But
they don't want us to know how to harness it.
no, because they want
Yeah.
everything oil based regardless.
Yeah. And
Because even
control, honestly,
yeah,
because if we were to just turn off all of the power,
hmm,
people wouldn't be able to handle it.
right.
Um, so we just have to like it's just a way of controlling us, you know.
Hmm.
They could be like, "Well, we'll turn off the power." And everybody would be like, "No." So,
Yep. Or some
that's
radical,
super tinfoil hat shit, but
right? Some radical group is like building some kind of huge worldwide range EMP.
yeah.
Just like turn everything off just long enough for us to go caveman.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you imagine? Like, people can't even go without DoorDash.
Don't
Mhm.
talk about Heisenberg when he's not on.
Oh. Oh, he did say he does DoorDash a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
According to what he said over the weekend, he door dashes everything.
yeah,
It's a great idea. I just can't afford it. It adds like twice the amount on that you paid for the actual food,
right.
especially when you're like getting delivered from outside the zone.
The zone.
So, what's Roscoe doing? He's back there having. Oh, he's gone
Easton's
now.
over there talking to him. He's trying to say goodnight to him, and
Oh, okay.
he didn't wanna come over in the frame, so he made Roscoe go over there. Roscoe's an old man now. It's very hard for him to get up and down off of that ottoman.
Oh,
Yeah, I started him
I
on
thought it was
waffles.
just. What's that?
I started him on waffles. It's medicine. It's very
Oh, okay.
expensive because he has to
The
take
big
4 at a
dogs.
time.
Yeah, the big dogs struggle with the
Yeah,
hips and the yeah. That was like the worst part of Luna getting old. Our black lab. It's like before she was actually sick, and like towards the end, she was already having a hard time walking around because of hip and joint
yeah,
problems. So,
yeah, that's where he's at.
and that was a time where you really couldn't get the uh the marijuana gummies or whatever you want to call it for
Yeah,
pain for dogs. The pet
yeah,
treat that had
but
but
yeah. Yeah,
all
a
right.
lot of tinfoil shit that I could talk about
Yeah, it's about
for
that
days.
time. Again, before we sign off, our condolences go out to the family and other friends of Jennifer Bradford, and then Ruth. And also, real quick, I want to say condolences to Angel Val, who is Ruth's like best bestie, who's pretty much been there through everything with her. Taking care of her, by her side. Just you did a great job. Hopefully she's not feeling down on herself. But
Yeah,
anyways, like just pray for the families and friends. It's been a rough week for a lot of people. So, and if
yeah,
you have somebody in your life or whatever, we'll pray for you too, or whatever you believe in.
and also just I feel like everybody like Ruth was sick for a while, and we
Hmm.
don't know what happened to Jennifer.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that it's just when something like this happens, it just needs to be a reminder to people. Like, first of all, don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
Number
good
one.
call.
But I think it's just a reminder, like, if you're thinking about somebody, call them, send them a message,
Yeah,
whatever. Just be kind to people, and because you never know when
right,
you're going to be like, oh, this was my last text that I sent to this person, or this was the
right.
last thing I said, or oh,
Hmm.
I wanted to call them last month but I didn't. It's just a hard reminder.
Right. I spent a lot of time with my mom right before the end, and I still was down on myself that I didn't spend more time with her. It's like
Mhm.
any time I spent with her was just not enough,
Yeah,
and I wish I could go back and hug her again, see her again. All my loved ones in my family that I've lost, and I'm sure everybody feels that way.
yeah,
But definitely, if you're thinking about them, call them.
right.
Just say hello and let them know
Yeah,
you love them
just
and you're
say,
there for them.
people underestimate the power of like a simple text message, like, hey,
Yeah,
I was thinking about you, I just want to let you know you're doing a good job. Hey, I was thinking about you, just
exactly.
want to let you know you're a great dad. Like,
Yeah,
just whatever. Just
I agree.
be kind, especially those 2, both of them were just
Hmm.
very sweet and kind and
Very.
always said wonderful things to people,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? Like, Jennifer brought my kids little gift bags to MadCon
Right.
because she wanted the kids to
Yeah.
have a good time, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just I don't know, just
She was always thinking about everybody.
yeah, just be kind.
She thought of everybody. Yep. So yeah, like you said, don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
That's what it all is about. All
Make
right.
everybody's life good.
Right. Well, there it is, Crypto Heads. Pretty good episode, but missing Heisenberg, so it's not the
Yeah,
best episode.
right.
Got to have Heisenberg here. So yeah, we will spook you later, Crypto Heads, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye bye.